Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the Masters Championship here at the Hockenheimring in my beloved Germany. Today with me is Peter. Welcome Peter.
Thank you for having me in the country, but
No problem. Um, Germany today. What times do we expect? What do you think?
um, we are currently looking at probably in the 1 minute 11s or even tens, high tens for these drivers. But currently, a lot of drivers are choosing the medium tyre to be setting their banker lap times on.
Yeah, it's better to start on the soft tire compound and not on the softest one, the ultra softs, because they are done after like 4 or 5 laps something, so it's better to start on
Yeah,
the softs.
those tyres don't last very long and not really the most used tyre in most of the Grand Prix. The softest compound isn't really a qualifying tyre unless it is a wet start. But from the looks of things, it might be looks to be a dry start with all drivers looking to try and start on either the softs or mediums. With F1 Alonso being the only driver to have set a time on the ultra softs.
Yeah, they probably cancelled that lap as well. It's only a 12.8 with the ultra softs. And let's have a look. So, Division 2 pole was an 11.4. I'm looking forward to see
On
what kind of lap this driver can do.
Yeah,
It's
as
Division 1.
Dobby has improved to take provisional pole 1 minute 12, so slowly getting into the 1 minute 11s.
Yep, 12.1. It's a great bank lap on mediums.
Whether it's interesting to see whether any of these drivers that have already set their lap time on the mediums will switch to the softs.
Yep. Oh, technique runs wide. And he lost it. He crashed into the wall after turn 1. Turn 1 is one of the trickiest corner on the whole race calendar, in my opinion. Very hard to nail,
Yeah,
very
very
hard
difficult.
to validate the lap after that corner.
It looks like he's on an out lap, but he's very low on fuel. So
Or maybe he invalidated after turn 1. And
yeah, yeah, probably did. I just
and it
felt that
stopped.
we just going to have to go into the pits. All drivers have set a banker lap, but it'll be interesting to see which drivers can improve and what tyres they come out on.
Alonso's again on the ultra softs and starts a hard lap now. Ooh, and goes wide, and that's an invalidation. And he stopped immediately with that lap.
Yeah, the difficult corner.
Long the wheel is about to start his hot lap on softs. Very early to qualify on softs. And goes wide as well. Oh, that's probably an invalidation as well.
A lot of drivers, as you can see, are making mistakes, many at turn one.
Yeah,
As it is making it very difficult. If you run wide, you're more than likely going to get an invalidation.
very hard to nail. Oh, there's the first time in the 11s. It's Kyle with a 1:11.7.
Yeah, uh, killed, but he's on the set of soft, so a lot of drivers are choosing to come onto this middle compound tyre,
Yep.
and it'll be interesting to see if anybody can go quicker than that.
Looks like Wyberg's on a hot lap. On softs.
Yeah, he's just started, yeah.
Stay on board with him. Gets a DRS, is on... Wait a sec. So...
I'm keeping an eye on Hero Joking as well, because he's on a set of ultras, but on a flyer as well. Very low on fuel.
Wyberg cancelled his lap. So watch Hero Joking. Ooh, he went a little wide there.
And does he improve?
Oh no, he stops.
It must have been invalidated, yeah. Or he doesn't want to cross the line on those ultras either.
Yeah.
His best time is on a set of mediums, so sensibly doesn't want to be starting on those ultras. Probably just wanted to see what the pace was like on the ultras, whether they're possibly needed in the race or not, or whether he'll just stick with the mediums. He does have enough time to come into the pits and switch, as learning the wheel improves and goes quickest, just over a tenth and a half to
Kyle
Dupland, yeah.
So it's getting to the end. More people coming out of the pits. Kevin Portugal is on his out lap. You're joking is on an in lap, I think. Yeah, he's going to the pits probably. Wyberg, he did another lap. He's now on the last sector. He's running on overtake on a slow sector. That's quite interesting. Goes on the line and 12.7. 1 second slower than Carl's time on softs. Probably made a big mistake on his lap.
Yeah, another difficult corner in this is the braking into the hairpin. Like, how well do you judge your braking going into there? Because if you leave it a little bit too late, it just damages your run through that corner.
Yep.
And if you do it too early, even in the race, if you do it too early, you're vulnerable to an overtake on the inside if you're not covering.
Yep. So that's an important part of the track as well. Ooh, on board with Technique Gaming, and he had a big lock up coming into the hairpin. I don't think that really affects his lap time by the looks of it. He still continues. And I mean, oh yeah, that definitely was an invalidation now. Went way too wide, went on the gravel. Don't know, what turn is that? Let me check.
SGT, I was about to say, is on a flyer, but he just ran incredibly wide on the exit of turn 1. I'm not too sure whether he will carry on, especially with an invalidation, but he should be able to get back round and start again. But he hasn't changed his ERS mixture, which suggests that he didn't, and he does now. He has changed his ERS mixture to 0, so he did invalidate it on the exit of turn 1. A lot of drivers are making their mistake, mainly there at the start of the lap.
Yep, turn 1. I think, Technique, he tries from the session. I think he just gave up. Hopefully he didn't retire on track, because that would be a quali ban. But that is not allowed. Let's have a look at Graham. He goes in the stadium section now. Last 2 corners, goes wide as well. That's for sure an invalidation. But he goes for another lap. goes very slow into turn 1.
Um,
But that wasn't even an invalidation. He did a 12-0.
just riding on board with Matt, 32575. He just come through turn 1. He did run a little bit wide, but not just invalidation. He is still running in overtake mode. He's got the DRS wide open coming down the straight, so he is pushing on this lap, so it wasn't an invalidation. So we'll see if he can improve. He's currently set in P5. He needs to find at least 6/10 to get anywhere near the pole, as Darren Sinclair improves and goes pole with a 1:11.5. So even more time needs to be found from the other drivers to try and knock the Ferrari off pole position.
Yep. Stay on board with Matt. Cuts a little bit. At turn 8, yeah, he invalidated and he cancelled his lap. He's probably going for another run.
He's got just enough time. 30 seconds left in this session.
And Hero Jokin pops up in P4, 11.9. So who's the next one? Coming over the line, Sergeant Sway goes wide, invalidates. I think the next one.
It's on board with Dobby. I don't think he ran wide through turn 1.
Dobby.
Just yeah. The second. Yeah.
He finished. He couldn't get
Oh,
over the line.
Finished, yeah. He didn't get over the line yet, so he's currently set in P6. Whether that's confirmed or not, we'll see whether any of the drivers can improve.
Alonso now, last corner with DRS, no DRS. Oh, he probably made a mistake and crashed into the wall. P12 for him. Sorry.
Yeah, if he needed to improve because he did set his quickest time on the ultras.
There goes Matt now with DRS over the line. He goes on pole, a 1:11.4. Great lap time for Matt.
Yeah.
So that's by the looks of it. Yeah, that's it. It's Matt on pole. The Mercedes driver gets himself on P1 on the softs in front of Darren and learning the wheel. That's
yeah, so that's our grid from the looks of things.
Yep. So it looks like everyone's starting on softs, except Dobby, Kevin, Sway, Alonso and Karlsberg. Karlsberg couldn't set a lap time on softs. He's down in 13th. With 13.3. You won't be happy with that. The championship leader starting from last. Maybe
he took the victory last time out as well in Silverstone.
Yeah, with a dominant and great drive in the wet weather conditions. Stunning performance. It really was. It was 1 second quicker than the second quickest driver on the grid. And there we go, we got Matt with a 1:11.4 on pole, Darren Sinclair in second with a 1:11.5, learning the wheel in third with a 1:11.6, and then further down we got Carl in fourth, Hero Joke in fifth, Graham in sixth, Dobby in seventh, Technic Gaming in eighth, Kevin Portugal in ninth, Weiberg in 10th, Sway in 11th, Alonso in 12th, and Casper in 13th.
It'd be interesting to see what tyre choices the three guys outside the top 10 pick. Will they pick for the softs or will they go for the harder compound or the medium to run longer into this race? Because you do get free choice of tyre.
Yeah. It will be quite interesting, and it's dark. Maybe it's going to rain in the middle of the race or at the end.
Yeah, that might be beneficial to the drivers that are starting on the mediums because maybe they can push those, or if there is a wet period, they can push those. And if it gets to a stage, if it rains, to intermediates, they can get away with essentially one less pit stop if they don't have to switch onto another set of dry tyres.
Yep. So let's just wait for the drivers to ready up, and then we go for the formation lap. So, did you expect better from more drivers to be in the 11th force? So round about Matt's time.
Yeah, I was expecting a few drivers to be around that area, but maybe because of the tricky corners are here, especially with invalidations, especially in turn one, where you saw a lot of drivers to get their lap invalidated, means that drivers weren't really able to push as hard because they just put themselves at risk of the invalidation and wouldn't be able to perform as high into the same lap time as Matt did.
Yeah, fully agree with that. Let's have a look. What tires are the last guys on? Sway and Carl's bottom softs, and Alonso on mediums. Is trying the long stint. For the mediums, the mediums are very hard to heat up, and they are oh, that was just lag. So hard to get like grip on in the first couple of laps. So
yeah, it'll be very key for these drivers just to pump in a lot of heat. There's only 3 drivers starting on the medium, so they're going to have to put a lot of work in and just bide their time really into on the first lap into the corners with the other drivers, because they will be vulnerable because of their tyre heats, but they'll be better off toward the middle of the race and onto the next stint.
Let's have a look. The cars are on their start finish line, getting on their starting position. So the German Grand Prix is about to start. 5 red lights. Matt is on pole, and there away we go. Looks like Darren got a better start. He's already beside Matt. By the looks of it, nobody crashed in the background. No front wing damage or something. Technique game goes on the inside on Graham.
Yeah, very late move from the Renault there, trying to be optimistic, but has to hold fire. Sticks back in P7, but Matt has kept the lead. Will he be able to keep it into turn 1? Doesn't need to cover the inside. No move from down into turn 1, but a lot of action behind, especially from the Renault and the Alpha.
And the Alpha, yeah.
3 wide, nearly. And Force India and Alpha side by side going into the next section of corners, and the Alpha gets with Graham of Kevin Portugal, so making moves on those mediums quite early on.
And I think I saw some front wings flying away. Yeah, there's a Taurus in the background.
That one Alonso, I believe, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a shame. He's on the mediums, so you have to use the soft tires from now on. So you have to pit twice. 2 times now. Oh, he won't be happy with that.
No. But he has to just think now, make the early stop, get the wing changed, and then just push on. As we've got Graham and Technique Gaming going side by side into turn 2. Graham hangs it round the outside, and the Williams of Kausper wants to get involved as well, round the outside into 3. Will he get the move done? They're going to be side by side along this straight. Kausper will have the inside. Who's got the better straight line speed? The Renault will have the slipstream of the Force India. And up the inside goes Kausper, and I believe that is move completed. They might get a move. There's a little bit of contact between the back of the Williams with the front end plate of the Renault. No damage, I believe, but the Casper's making some great moves after starting at the back of the grid. It looks like he might be making a move on Graham into the next corner. Try to go around the outside and hold back.
So Casper already in P8 after starting last in P13. He did the same show in Great Britain last week, where he started in P5 or 6, I think, and then was P2 after one lap. And
Matt's starting to storm away now at the lead. Already pulled over a second gap to Dan Sinclair in the Ferrari. Getting outside that 1 second window for DRS. It'll benefit him, especially into this next section where the DRS straight is, and then into the hairpin. We'll see if the Alfa Romeo of learning the wheel can get a move on the Toro Rosso into the hairpin. They're side by side, the DRS wide open, up the inside goes learning the wheel, and I believe that'll be move completed. And then his teammate now wants to get in the action as well with that. Toro Rosso is now in an Alfa Romeo sandwich. Can he do anything about it into these next couple of corners? He's literally nose to tail with learning the wheel. Make sure he doesn't make any contact, which his teammate managed at the start of this race. Runs a little bit wide on the exit of turn 10, but keeps it in shape into the final sector.
Kevin Portugal on the mediums is on P6, so you got good chances to for podium, maybe, just maybe.
Yeah, see if he can hold his tyre temperatures. It will be going a lot longer than the rest of these, as learning the wheel gets a 3-second time penalty on the exit of turn 1.
I think he's the first guy to get a penalty on lap 4.
Yeah. Hopefully there's show more to come. So now his teammate is leading a train of himself here, Kevin Graham right behind it as well, and the Williams of Casper. Casper's making a move up the inside of Graham into the hairpin. They're going to go side by side, and I believe Casper's getting held up by the other Alfa in front of him, so they're still side by side, and I think Casper has that move completed on the Force India. Excellent stuff, and now up to P7.
Excellent stuff. And in the background we got a battle between Sergeant Sway and Dobby going side by side. Dobby just holds on the slow tires. Sway has the advantage to go for a move on in.
Yeah, there's an absolute train forming between P5 and P9 now as Technique Gaming wants to get involved.
Oh.
Basically the top 5th all the way to 9th is separated by about 1.5 seconds as to go through turn 1. Hero Joking is going to be a sitting duck, especially with all these drivers. They're going to get slipped. They're going to have slipstream. They're going to have DRS going into the hairpin. So can he get a great exit and try and defend from all of these drivers that are going to be a lot faster with that DRS?
It is going to be interesting. Kevin Portugal down the inside he goes. Onira Jokin. Oh, and Carlsberg hits the back of Kevin Portugal, and Kevin Portugal and Onira Jokin nearly spun. They made contact. Wheel banging. Carlsberg goes now down the inside on Kevin Portugal with a better exit after the hairpin in, and is now in front of Kevin Portugal. So no chance for Kevin Portugal to defend that. Tried to go down the inside on Onira Jokin, but instead of gaining in position, he lost one. Lost one now.
Yeah, he's got to focus now. He is on those mediums. And needs to make sure he doesn't lose any more positions.
Yeah.
Especially to Technique Gaming, who got past Graham early on in the lap as well. And now Calsport is going to be right on the back of Hero Joking, with the Alpha getting a better run through turn 1. It's going to have the outside into turn 2 as Calsport tries to make a move early on Hero Joking. He needs to hold back and then realise that he'll have DRS and slipstream into the hairpin, side by side to go.
Look at the straight line from Carlsberg.
Yeah, and he's already got the move done before, and the Alfa Romeo is going to go around the outside of Hero joking into the hairpin, gets forced wide. A little bit of a tank slapper from the Toro Rosso, and now Kevin Portugal is under threat from the
Oh,
Renault. Nearly contact between those two, and Kevin Portugal just manages on to hold on to that P7. Doesn't want to be falling away any more positions with this battling,
yeah.
which gifts Kasper a little bit of breathing space now between himself and Hero Jokin, and he's got a chance to try and close in the top four in front of him.
Yeah, Hero Jokin is causing the train at the moment.
Since Darren Sinclair gets a 3-second time penalty, he's probably been pushing to try and catch up with Matt, but in the result gets a penalty.
Oh, yellow flags. Sector 3. That's Alonso's off. Oh, it doesn't look good.
It's just going from bad to worse for him now, after having that early contact. Kevin Portugal and Hero Jokin side by side going into the hairpin. The Renault wants to make it 3 wide nearly, but leaves door open. Does Hero Jokin for the Renault? They're 3 wide on the exit of the hairpin. Kevin Portugal hangs on, and now Jokin is vulnerable to Technic Gaming going into the next section of corners. Is it going to be a late move on the inside from Hero Jokin on the Alpha? Not quite, but nearly contact between the rear wheel of Kevin. Doesn't want to send him spinning. But positions are held at the moment as Kevin gets himself a 3-second time penalty, which will benefit the drivers behind him, but they won't know that, and they just need to make the moves as soon as possible, just not to hamper their race.
So the Force India of Sergeant Sway is now right behind the rest of the pack. As is Dobby and Weiberg, they are there as well. So, light break from Technic Gaming, nearly touched the back of Hero Jokin. Really got himself front wing damage. Let's have a look. Technic Gaming in the slipstream of Hero Jokin with DRS, but that doesn't help very much because Hero Jokin got DRS by himself.
It seems to be not getting the best exits out of the hairpin. It seems to be losing a little bit of grip.
Yep.
Probably putting down the throttle a little bit too hard, but it doesn't leave him that vulnerable to the cars behind. But it is now under threat of being overtaken going into turn 12. Literally nose to tail. There's a move up the inside from Technic Gaming that isn't going into 13, but Technic Gaming needs to think and realise that he will get double DRS if he sticks behind him long enough, coming off the start lap 9.
Oh, and on the next lap, Hero Jokin won't get DRS. Sergeant Sway picks up another penalty. Technic Game just holds on, not to overtake now. There surely is another overtake for Technic Gaming. Hero Jokin runs wide after the exit. Technic down the inside, or around the outside, and now down the inside. Oh, there's a Force India go very wide. That's Sergeant Sway and losing 2 positions in one corner. Well, nearly 2. Yeah, 2 positions. What happened there? Didn't catch that. Meanwhile, Technic Gaming still not in front of Hero Jokin. Hero Jokin defense very good. Technic Gaming having his problems getting his car in front of his opponent.
Yeah, the Technic Gaming is not. Runs very wide, catches the little bit of gravel on exit as Hero Jokin comes into the pits.
Very early.
Very early on those softs. Very early undercut as well. More than likely to be on the mediums, but that 24 laps on the mediums is a very long way to go.
Yep. I mean, it is possible, but it's a very long way.
Yeah,
Now
now
it's
Technic Gaming is vulnerable to the force injury with Graham going into the hairpin. Technic Gaming defends the inside. Graham's going to have to do it round the outside into the hairpin. Breaks later, but does have a better exit, and has got the move completed. As further behind, we have Dobby, Weiberg, and Sway battling behind with Dobby keeping in front of Weiberg, and Sway's got the move done on Weiberg as well. So after losing a few positions last lap or the lap before, he's managed to start regaining some time and positions.
it's beautiful racing from these 5 guys.
Yeah, keeping it nice and clean is what we like to see.
Yep. Oh, Technic Gaming had a questionable
F1 Alonso is
pit entry.
out. Yeah.
Weiberg's in the pit as well. Yeah, that was probably just out of frustration and not motivated to race anymore. He was 60 seconds behind Hirojokin. I mean, I can understand
Yeah,
that.
so I think Technique coming in was probably wanting to cover off Hero Joking, and has got a massive overcut on those softs, and Hero Joking must have lost some time on his outlap, and he's lost loads of ground. He's lost about 5 or 6 seconds, and the position to Weiberg.
What the hell? Maybe he changed his front wing, maybe? That's why he was so slow?
Yeah, but he's lost 5 seconds, so as you said, 5 seconds is the extra time for a front wing change, so that could have been it. Or he just had a very poor outlap on those mediums, as we mentioned, that it takes time for those tyres to get on a good grip and temperature. It's whether now Graham follows suit. He doesn't, neither does the cars behind the Dobby or Sway, so they're going to keep pushing to make sure this one stop is more feasible, especially for the tyres at the end of their second stint.
Let's have a look. Kartsper is right at the back of Darren Sinclair. Kartsper again showed great pace, that he got the pace to fight for the win and gets the move done even before the hairpin. Beautiful move by Kartsper, and learning the wheel, and Kyle goes half aside. Kyle defends very well along the wheel. Still has to wait another lap. Kartsper already in P2 after starting last. Showing again he's a great driver.
Yeah, sure, he's got some great pace. Even on 11 lap old softs, he seems to be coming into his own compared to the other drivers. The other drivers probably struggling now on those tyres, especially since they qualified on them as well. So they've already got 1 or 2 fast laps taken out of them. So Matt makes the pit stop.
The race leader pits. Oh! That was... that is definitely unsafe release.
Yeah. And Matt comes out in P7 with Learning the Wheel and Graham both pitching for certain mediums as well. Learning the Wheel has come out in front of Technic Gaming. Where does Graham come out? Graham comes out behind Technic Gaming, but in front of Weiberg and Hero Joking. So looking where he would want to be, and Hero Joking gets a 3-second time penalty. He's probably pushing now to try and close in the time he has lost in that pit stop. But getting penalties isn't really going to help with gaining time.
Yeah. You should rather take it slow into turn 1 and not getting penalties.
Yeah, because you're not really gaining 3 seconds going into turn 1, are you?
Darren Sinclair
and Darren Sinclair is in the pit, yeah. We'll want probably either the undercut on Kartsper or just to cover off Matt and Learning the Wheel, who were behind them. Oh, well, Matt was in front of them, Learning the Wheel was behind.
Yep. There's Matt, and he is gone. Oh!
Learning the Wheel.
Darren, I think, hit the wall? Oh, yeah, probably was lag. He got no
Yeah,
frontal
Dan has
damage.
come out in front of learning the wheel.
Oh, by
And
2
Sway has come
seconds.
out nearly side by side with his teammate. He has
Ooh.
come out ahead. He has made the overcut work. But now Graham is with those tyres all nice and warmed up. Is going to be looking to make the move. And then be side by side going to the hairpin. Graham does have DRS and gets that move, I believe, completed way before the corner. And he does retake the position.
So, of course, in your battle for P9. And Sergeant Spy has to check his mirrors, because there's Fiber coming.
Carlsberg in the pits.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
Looking at Delta,
that was
should
quite
come out about P8.
PA.
Or P7, P8. Or maybe not, actually. It's a quicker pit stop, actually, before you think about it.
Damn! He's now 2.7 seconds behind Matt. So he gained some time.
Yeah, the overcut seems to be working better than the undercut.
Yeah. That was interesting, because both Williams were the only one who were driving on the softs, and I mean, if they both went into the pits, that would be dramatic, very dramatic.
Yeah. Carlsberg had as lead driver the choice, as Kyle is starting to lose that grip. We just watch him slide through the second sector. Does he pit now? He does indeed. Doesn't want to lose any more time on those warm softs.
Buyback.
Now Kevin Portugal takes the lead on those mediums.
I think you can do maybe 6 more laps on the mediums. Just maybe.
Yeah, make life a lot easier on those softs.
Yeah, and Kyle comes out in P7 behind along the wheel. And along the wheel is right behind Darren Sinclair now. With great top speed. Engine mode. But he doesn't go for the move. I was a little bit far away there.
He doesn't want to risk going late onto the brakes.
Yep.
And losing more time rather than gaining. I'd rather stick behind and try and put pressure on Darren going through the second sector. See if he makes a mistake, he can take the opportunity, and if not, he can just keep within that 1 second and try and make the move once again, either going to the hairpin or even going down into turn 2.
What kind of surprised me that Kartsper, he lost half a second to Matt in 1 lap. I mean, probably was because he had to warm up these mediums, because now he's gaining some time. Well, not anymore.
Yeah, see if Leon in the wheel, he is quite a way back. He's 7 tenths at the moment. He's got the ERS wide open. He's using high ERS mixture, but he's still a long way back to be making any moves on Darren into the hairpin. So he's close, but not close enough to be taking away that 5th position from the Ferrari.
Yep.
But then again, if Leon in the wheel is being held up, it gives an opportunity for Kyle to bring himself into this battle. It was interesting to see that just before the pit stops, most of these drivers were within a second of each other, and now since the pit stops have been made, gaps have been formed.
Yeah. Damn.
We'll see if Leon in the wheel can get a better run through turn 1. Obviously not want to run wide, as Leon in the wheel gets himself a penalty. That was on the entry of turn one, more of the exit, and a 3-second time penalty slapped on him for that. He is a little bit closer than it was last time round, going towards the hairpin.
Oh, look at his straight line
ERS
speed.
into
Jesus.
overtake. Yeah, he's gonna have to do it. And he's gone way past him before even in the braking zone. So he must have had an excellent exit off of turn 4 and gets the job done and into the top 5.
Also, movement in the background. Joking gets himself in front of Weiberg.
Yeah, finally made inroads on that Ferrari after the early pit stop and possible front wing change.
Oh, Kevin and Dobby are in the pits.
Yep, they've made those last 18, 19 laps. Gifts Matt the lead back after that he made his stop earlier on, and Casper is now in P2 with learning the wheel on the final step of the podium after making that move on Darren in the previous lap.
Let's have a look. Ken comes out in P6 and Dobby in P8.
Is in front of Technique Gaming, but he is on the softest tyre, so the gap to Kyle isn't that great either. Only 1.5 seconds, so he'll easily probably be able to catch that up and start clocking in some quick lap times and try and chase down the pack that pit on to the mediums, as Suede made the move on his teammate into the hairpin to retake P9 battle for the final few points in this Grand Prix between the two Force Indias. As they're chasing down Dobby, who just come out on those softs, but can probably take advantage of those softer tyres and start to push away and try and close in on Technique Gaming.
So
the field's kind of spread out now after all drivers have made their, or it should be, one and only pit stops.
Yep.
It's now down to the two drivers that were on the ultimate strategy of Kevin and Dobby to take advantage and start making some moves. Kevin is already on the back of Kyle within that 1 second window, so should be making the move on him in any time soon. Whereas Dobby,
he's 4 seconds behind Technic
4
Gaming.
seconds behind.
That's a big gap.
Ooh. Yeah, big gap to close in.
But we know Dobby got the pace to catch up and overtake.
Kevin is right on the back of Kyle now.
The grip difference between these tyre compounds is huge.
Yeah, especially in time.
Yeah.
Track time.
All over the place.
Kevin right on the back. He is holding back. He doesn't want to be making a move into turn 2. They want to hold back and get the second bump of DRS. See if he can use that alpha overspeed to get by Kyle. He will have the inside into the hairpin and gets the move completed before the braking zone. And now up into the top 5. He has 2.5 seconds or just under that to try and close into the Ferrari. He has him in his sights as Darren is starting to fall away a little bit from Kevin's teammate. Can he even just try and, if he manages to close into Darren, he might even be on for a podium with this ultimate strategy.
Yeah, if he keeps it clean, and doesn't get any penalties. I think learning that we got 2 and Darren Sinclair got 2. Kevin got 1.
I'll have a quick look. Darren has 2, yeah. Learning the wheel has 3 penalties, and and 2 warnings on the next.
Oh.
And Kevin has 3 penalties as well.
Oh, right. Okay.
So the ball is in Downs Park at the moment for penalties on keeping that position.
Yeah.
Now up to Kevin and learning the will to try and just try and pull away a decent 3-second gap, or even just Kevin's close in and then pull away. With that extra penalty, will just gift the other drivers free positions when it comes to the checkered flag.
The gap between Matt and Carlsberg is closing in slowly, but it is closing in.
Yeah, Matt's on 2 lap older mediums, so that even if it's just 2 laps, they're still a little bit fresher.
Yep.
To be driving as Wyberg gets a 3-second time penalty himself, but he is out the points. They wouldn't really benefit him that much if the other drivers in front had penalties as well.
Carlsberg have some penalties. Do you know that?
I will have a quick look at the leading pack to see. Matt has only got the 1 warning, no penalties.
Oh.
And Carlsberg has no warnings, no penalties. So the 2 leading drivers will be sitting as it stands if they cross the finish line in this order.
Kevin already made the move before the hairpin. So I think Darren maybe saved some ERS for later. Or he knows that they got so many penalties. Both Alpha drivers got 3 penalties. So he should be fine with that.
Yeah, but now Kevin is on the back of his teammate. Will there be team orders in this? Will Lerner will let his teammate by easily, or will they via Hamilton and Rosberg battle it out for the podium position? If they do decide to battle, it will damage their chances in the constructors' fight. They are, and yeah, he lets them through. Very sensible from learning the wheel. Realises that Kevin does have the softer tyres and will be pushing away.
And maybe he's getting Carlsberg, but only maybe. He's 5.3 seconds behind them. Dobby, meanwhile, is now only 1 second behind Technic Gaming. The gap was 4 seconds. So he did a good job in catching them up.
Yeah, now within the 1. But he does need to make more time up if he wants to get more than 7. Because Technic Gaming is falling away a little bit from Kyle. And then vice versa to Kyle to Darren. So it's not a lot of time that needs to be made. But in Formula 1 it is, like, seconds are large amounts of times, rather than in real life a second is nothing.
Yep. And by the looks of it, Carlsberg. Oh, is he gonna get DRS? If
He
yes,
might
then
do. He does indeed.
yeah, he do. He does. That doesn't look good for Matt. Both clean drivers, both don't have any penalties. It's quite impressive. I respect that. I can't do that.
Yeah. It just goes down to now driving technique.
Dobby!
He can manage the car.
Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, it's fine. Dobby's made the move on Technique Gaming going into the hairpin. They finally made a manoeuvre on those softer tyres. Was it a late move on your perspective, or were they already side by side going into the hairpin?
Nah, a little late. I think it was alright. Wasn't really a big dive bomb, but it was okay. Still a good move.
He probably thought in his mind that he needed to get that move done as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Oh, let's have a look at the lead again. The gap is 8 tenths. That is getting intense. Ha.
Yeah, 8 laps to go, and the guy who's going to win this race has not been chosen yet. And now with that they're within 1 second of each other, they could be battling hand over fist for the rest of this Grand Prix. And if they do continue to battle, it might bring Kevin in. The gap is 5 seconds, so if they do start to squabble, especially in these technical corners in the second sector, it could bring Kevin into the frame for the battle for the win. But it probably won't help that Kevin's got 9 seconds worth of penalties.
Kevin is closing in as well. Not very much, but he is. The gap was 5.3 seconds, and now it is 4.7. And if these two are going to battle, then maybe he could fight with them as well. He won't win because he got 9 seconds of penalties, but it would be fun to watch.
Casper might be making a move on Matt now. Maybe set speed not there just yet, but he is literally right on the gearbox, him on the exit of the hairpin.
Aim. Grid. Matt goes defensive already. Kasper has to hold on 1 more lap. Matt is under big pressure from Kasper, the championship leader, who started last, is now running in P2.
It just shows the pure skill of Kasper, that he's able to start from the back, get through the drivers,
Yep.
and make his way up towards the front, and maybe even snatch his way a victory out of this.
Cautious, going to turn 1. He thought about going in, for a move now into turn 2, but he didn't do it. That would be very not that good.
Yeah, Kasper at the inside into the hairpin for the lead of this Grand Prix, and has got the move done, but he has ran very wide on the exit.
Whoa.
It looks like Matt has got back through. He does indeed. So a very optimistic move from Kasper. He would break later. Yeah, switch back from Matt and retakes the lead, and shows that just because you've made the move doesn't mean you've got the move done, because he is ran very wide on the exit. So Kasper is going to have to rethink and maybe even try it all over again. Which, with these two battling, is actually starting to bring Kevin in. 3.3 now, the gap to the leaders.
Yeah, just because they fought once. Should be interesting what is going to happen now. By the looks of it, Kasper got such a good straight line speed. He's catching up so quickly. Maybe because Matt was running engine mode 2.
Yeah, both drivers now in overtake mode, but Kasper will have DRS. He's going to have the move done way before the corner. Will he be able to break nicely into the hairpin this time? Is Matt going to look back up the inside on them? They're nearly side by side between them, and the move has been completed now for Kasper for the lead of this Grand Prix, with 5 laps to go after this. Matt now has to rethink, and can he keep within a close range of Kasper to give himself a chance to retake the lead of this Grand Prix.
It was a good move from Kasper.
Yeah, how much tyre wear is affecting that Mercedes driver?
Yeah.
He is still within that 1 second. Maybe he was on a tyre saving deal and needed to hold back a little bit. He's not as close as Kasper was, but now can Kasper start to pull away from Matt to secure himself a back-to-back victory here on TMC Division 2.
Matt isn't even
Matt
racing
isn't-
on overtake.
No, but he is a little bit later under the brakes. He did close up a little bit, but maybe thinking that if he keeps the pressure on Calsper, he could force him to make a mistake, maybe even snag himself a victory by forcing Calsper to get himself a penalty from trying to push the car
Yep.
from the pressure. And still, it's bringing in Kevin behind. He is 2.3. The drivers of Matt and Casper won't know that Kevin has a mountain of penalties. But if Kevin just get involved, he could put his spanner in the works. And the other Alpha of learning the wheel had lost it on the rear, lost it on the exit of the final corner. He did catch the gravel and has ended up in the pit wall, losing the wheel. Interesting that there's no safety car at all, even a virtual safety car for that wreckage.
Yeah.
Sat on the pit straight.
And the yellow flags are already gone.
As well, yeah. So
I think
I don't know
Matt.
which driver it could have benefited.
I think Matt is just waiting for the last lap to overtake him then, so that Casper doesn't even have any chance to fight back.
Yeah, that's very key actually. Yeah, because if he does make an overtake earlier, it just leaves himself vulnerable on the following lap to the same overtake. Further down the field, Hero Joking has got the move done on Sway. Sway was losing time to his teammate and has lost the position by doing that. And now looks like he's only going to be bringing in a solo point for Force India. And Hero Joking basically on a recovery drive still. See if he can catch up to the other Force India of Graham in these dying laps. Matt's still not close enough to make a move, but as you said, keeps within that 1 second and keeps the pressure on for the final up to the final lap and maybe make a last dive. Late on the break is Matt. Yeah,
You can see before the hairpin that Matt's tires are so dead. You can see the line on the tires already.
the other Williams of Kyle and down a side by side going to the next section of corners after the other side by side into the hairpin. Kyle has got the move now done on Darren. Darren is on 18 lap old medium, so those tyres are probably not feeling their best anymore and loses out to the other Williams and could be vulnerable to Dobby, who's finally caught up to this pack on those softs.
Oh, Darren Sinclair nearly lost it.
Yeah, sort of a little bit of a slide on the exit of 15 as Kevin Porter gets himself another penalty. He might not even get a podium. I'll have a look at the penalties for Kyle, see where he stands in this. Kyle has 2 penalties, so I think Kevin has about 4, so it looks like it might be given the final podium position to Kyle just by a tenth, unless Kevin can pull away and get that 6-second gap.
By the looks of it, Matt isn't going to catch Karlsberg because he's now out of the DRS window. I mean,
yeah, those tyres are really dead.
Yeah. I mean, he used nearly all of his ERS now. And that should be it for Karlsberg. Further back.
He didn't get DRS on the finish line straight, but he is now within 1 second.
Yeah, he
Going to
is.
this last lap. Kyle gets the 3-second time penalty, so that nullifies his chance of getting a podium out of this, but might even lose out to Darren and Dobby behind. So this final order is not set out yet, especially from the third downwards with all these penalties. But we know from the front that
Kyle, Darren. Oh, and Kyle nearly lost his car, and Darren is through after the hairpin. But Kyle, yeah, he goes for the switchback after the next corner. Side by side. Still side by side. Unbelievable. And Dobby is just watching and hoping that... Oh, and Kyle is off! And Kyle lost one position to Dobby. And over the line goes Kartsburg. Wins the German Grand Prix after starting last, finishing first. Matt got second. Great race from these two. Kevin Portugal in third. Darren Sinclair in fourth. Oh,
Dobby got the podium.
Dobby got the podium.
Because of the penalties from Kevin, Dobby has managed to snag himself a podium position.
So Dobby in third, Kevin in fourth, Darren Sinclair in fifth, Kyle in sixth, Graham seventh, Technic Gaming eighth, Hero Joke in ninth, Sergeant Swain in 10th, and Weiberg isn't going to get any points. He is in 11th.
I bet that was a surprise for Dobby to find out that he was on the podium, gets himself on the podium.
He will take that. So congratulations to Kartsburg, starting last, finishing first. Dominate, very... I don't have any words for that. That's unbelievable.
He extends his championship lead as well.
Yeah.
Even further.
It's already a huge gap.
Yeah.
Oh, and respect for Kartsburg, Matt, Dobby and Graham for not getting any penalties. That's very hard, especially here.
And Dobby, yeah, Dobby.
And Dobby, yeah.
Dobby kept himself clean, got himself a podium.
Well, Sergeant Sway has the most penalties with 18 seconds. Well, I guess thank you everyone for watching the German Grand Prix here in TMC. Today with me was Peter. Thank you for tuning in or joining me in the commentary box. And we will see you all tomorrow for the Performance League. And I don't know which commentator is going to be there. Is it you, Peter?
Won't be me. I think it might be either Graham or someone. So.
All right. So see you tomorrow then for the Performance League, and good night.